So super excited today to go over this presentation, this webinar. It's how to 5-star reviews can skyrocket your roofing business. So I want to go over how to get more reviews, how they impact your client acquisition, right? It's one of the questions you guys had. How to really get more rankings on the map section, more visibility on the SEO, more visibility on LSA, more leads on Google Ads. It really impacts everything. So it's really, really important about this. It's also about creating reputation. I know you guys, I don't know if you've been aware about all the stuff that's been happening the last a week with Google reviews. So it's a big challenge with Google reviews. And there's a bug in the system where many roofing companies, many local companies lost a lot of reviews. So I'll give you an example. Our company, we lost about 30 reviews, and we actually didn't lose the reviews. The only thing that was missing was actually the review count. So the reviews were always there. It's just the review count was off. So I want to talk more specifically about that, but make sure you guys kind of understand this and really get this going for you guys, right? So let's get this going, guys. So I want you really to imagine this scenario, right? What would your life look like if you could had the single best reputation in your market? What would your life look like if you consistently generated leads locally? If you consistently generated a lot more referrals, a lot more testimonials, right? If you actually get a lot of word of mouth where it's actually consistent and not hit or miss, what would your life look like, right? How would things be different for your business? I want you to really imagine the scenario, right, in your head. Would you hire more salespeople? Would you hire a sales manager? Uh, would you eventually want to sell your business? That's a big dream for a lot of roofing companies that I talk to. That a lot of them eventually want to sell their business. Private equity has gotten into the space, and they really made a push to acquire a lot of roofing companies. So is that a dream for you, right? They're gonna buy businesses that have this in place. So I'm gonna teach you in this presentation how to do this for your business, right? So you have the best reputation online, right? Who is this for? This is for any roofing company owner, any contracting business, any local business that really wants the best reputation online, that wants to get more leads, wants to get more reviews, that really wants a 360 approach to really tie in everything together to really get this at the end, right? There's nothing for sale. I'm not selling anything in this presentation. What I'm going to be doing is giving you the opportunity, if you're interested, to chat with someone on our team, one of our consultants, and they can talk about the strategy we implement for our clients, and we can potentially do it for you guys. Now, we're pretty selective on who we take on as clients, but you have a link. You can actually schedule a meeting, and you can actually go there and take it there. Okay. So again, hopefully you guys see this. Who am I? My name is Mauricio Cardinal. I'm the owner and founder of Roofing Marketing Pros. I actually started the business in 2017, and during that time frame, I've actually, really worked with a lot of contractors in that time frame, right? So when I started the company, I started marketing, right? I don't have a marketing background, right? I went to school for civil engineering. I worked in construction for a couple of years. Eventually, I got into sales, and I got a regular sales job, right? And what happened is that I actually got really interested in online marketing back in 2010. So I was actually doing my own stuff for a long time, building websites, doing SEO, just kind of doing my own thing for a long times. And eventually I quit my job in 2015. I freelanced for a few years, right? And 2017, I decided to move back to Miami. And that's when I started my company and focus on the roofing side, right? So in that time frame, since 2017, right, we've generated 150,000 inbound leads. Our clients have closed our 500 million in sales for our clients. If you look at reviews, I have a 4.7 rating on Google, over 140 reviews. We have close to 40 video testimonials, and we work with a lot of the best and well-known companies in this space, and we got a lot of good results for our clients in that time frame, right? So let's get this going, right? So let's talk about the role of online reviews in today's world. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over many different stats that showcase the importance of online reviews and how you can really dig in, right, and figure this out so you can understand the importance and how this can really be an impact in your business. Because today, online reviews are crucial, especially as a local provider, right? Think about this yourself, right? If you guys are a business, right? You're selling roofs, right? You're selling a service, right? As a service-based business, it's all about your reputation, right? It's hard to be a standout company because what I mean by that is that it's innovation. It's really about providing good service and have a good reputation. Because at the end of the day, the innovation on the business is really about just providing good service and good track record, right, of success, right? There is not like a tech company where you have many different products and all that stuff. It's just providing good service. So it's really about your reputation, the importance of that, right? So in a commodity-based business, that's really all it keys. It's really how your reputation on how it impacts your business. So overall, right, 93% of customers read online reviews before making a purchasing decision. So that number is recent, but I'm going to go over different numbers to kind of showcase the importance of the stats and the reputation and how they tie in together to really make your business stand out in a very competitive world today, right? So again, let's go over why you should care. Why I still talk today, even today, to a lot of contractors that don't understand the importance of online reviews, right? And it's really an industry that is far behind other industries that really have figured this out like 7 years ago, right? Overall, like what I've seen, because we work with a lot of different companies, not only just roofing companies, sophistication level in those other industries like plumbing and HVAC are really more sophisticated because they understand the importance for the last 7 years. So they've been doing this for 7 years. And the stuff that I'm talking about today is really something that has just grown in importance in 7 years, but really at the end of the day hasn't really changed that much in terms of the importance, right? 10 years ago, everybody knew the importance of online reviews. It's been around for a long time, right? So it's just becoming more and more important in today's world. So make sure you guys understand that, right? So let's go over the key factors, right? First thing is trust and credibility, right? So trust and credibility. So 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations, right? So it's important to understand that stat, right? So 88% of consumers trust online reviews, and they're deciding on the different trust factors on this. So ask yourself this: what are you building? What are you doing today in your business to build trust and credibility, right? For most companies, in my case, I kind of we have reviews, we have testimonials, we have just referrals, all these different things build trust. And today, like if you look at the importance, right? It's really about Google, right? Because for most local businesses, they really trust Google. It has a reputation. So that's going to build your credibility with a lot of different companies, right? It increases the higher conversion rates, right? So what I found overall, right? If you have a very high review count, high rating, right? What I've seen overall is that you're gonna have a better chance of converting from your website, a better chance of converting from your Facebook ads, a better chance of converting from your LSA. Your salespeople are gonna have a much easier time to sell, right? One thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to be a ghost online, right? There's so many roofing companies today that are just a completely ghost online, right? I mean, when you talk about this, you can't do this, right? It's very important to understand that it's really about your reputation and protecting it and making sure that it helps everything else. So if you do this, right, it's gonna help with everything else, right? Increase local search visibility. So one of the main key factors, right, that you see, right, where we factors, right, something that's kind of outside of our control for our clients, because as a business owner, you guys yourself, this is something that you guys should really emphasize for your own business, right? We do is we give you the tools, right? We give you the knowledge, we give you the automations, the workflows, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to actually implement it for your business and just ask your customers for reviews, right? And one of the benefits of that is that it helps with local visibility, right? So one of the things that we do is increase the rankings on local SEO. It's going to get you more local leads, right? So if you look at the top 10 search results, right? I'm sorry, the top 10 ranking factors, three of the most important top 10 ranking factors are reviews. So it's very important you have that understand the importance of how this can really make a big impact on overall, right? Customer decisions and purchase behavior. So influence purchase decisions and behavior, right? Based on recommendations, right? If your friend and family leaves a review, and that person leaves that person, right? You can actually, it gives a good credence to your business, right? It helps you with your reputation. It makes it much easier to sell. So personal recommendations are important. Referrals are always going to be the best, but online reviews are becoming just as important as referrals because people see the reviews, they see the detail, they see the keywords, and all these different things really make a big impact on how they can really make your perception online, right? And here are a couple of examples, right? This is Corey from Aurora and Chris J. Just really good job just outlining the review process for that, right? competitive advantage, right? So again, if you have a high reviews, right? Think about this. It gives you a big competitive advantage, right? Because if you're gonna rank, if you're in a big market like Atlanta, right? For example, right? And this company is in Atlanta, right? Um, they have a head start over you, right? It's if you want to do SEO, if you want to get leads on RSA, if you want to do local SEO, these guys have such a big head start because they've been doing it for a long time, but they've been gathering reviews for a long time with a high rating. So a high rating is going to give you an advantage versus new companies, right? That's why a lot of companies that have been around for a long time that have a high review count have a big advantage, strength advantage versus other companies that don't have that review count. That's why for us, our clients that are actually have this in place already that we just help them, right? Skyrocket that aspect. It's really just it puts fuel to the actual rise, right? That's kind of the thing with this, right? And overall, what you gotta take into account is that the roofing is very competitive, right? It's very competitive. There's over, according to my research, different numbers come out there, but they're saying about between 80 and 100,000 roofing companies in the US. There's always new companies coming out, right? And if you look at the market, right, some markets have, a couple hundred roofing companies, some markets have thousands of roofing companies in the same market. So if you think about this, right, if you put yourself in the homeowner's shoes, right, and they look on their phone, right, how many reviews are going to look at, right? How many companies are going to look at before they choose you? They have a lot of options. So you have to make sure you stand out, right, and you become the number one option for them, right? And that's one of the big things that you see that gives you a big competitive advantage, right? Customer engagement retention, right? So if you respond to reviews in a manner that's polite, and all the reviews, not talking about just not negative and positive, our reviews, it shows that you care, right? Studies show that businesses that respond to reviews increase customer loyalty and trust. So when you engage with customers, right, when you engage with your reviews, it really helps nurture and retain more clients, right? So again, these are big things that really help you. It's really about becoming more customer centric. It's really becoming about really the best possible choice in the sea of so many choices out there. And that's one of the big things that really helps you with everything else, right? Other thing too is that overall, reviews, they influence the word of mouth, right? They influence word of mouth. They're gonna provide positive word of mouth. 92% of consumers read online reviews before making a purchase decision. Obviously, they influence that. They also influence negative word of mouth, right? So if you have bad reviews, right, it's gonna hurt you and converting more sales, right? There's positive word of mouth and negative word of mouth. And if you have a bad service overall, it's going to be a bad negative word of mouth. That's going to really hurt your business, right? Overall, right? So again, more reasons why reviews matter. Again, modern day referrals, they give you a positive impression. The stakes are extremely high, right, for roofing. And I want you guys to really have empathy with your customer. And here was what I mean by that, right? If you think about the average American homeowner, right? The biggest expense they have, the biggest part of their net worth is their home, right? That their net worth is really tied into their home for the typical American, right? The biggest part of the home, the most expensive part of the home typically is the roof, right? So they have to take into consideration that when they make a big project selection, right? When they replace a roof, it's a big deal for a lot of people, right? So they have to have reassurance that you're actually the right fit and the right choice on that. And if you don't have proof online of that reassurance, it's going to make it much harder, right? It's going to make it much harder for you guys to kind of really take advantage of the online opportunities, right? Um, other thing, right? So overall, what I've seen, the rating is that 3.5 is really low, right? Versus 4.8. Obviously, that's that. One thing also that it also improves the buyer hesitancy. You can help you eliminate purchases, eliminate barriers to entry. So one of the things that people have is that have that trust factor. We think about most roofing companies, they don't have the best reputation overall. The industry is not littered with the best people. But if you provide good service and you're customer centric, then it's going to make it much easier to convert. One thing with this, I want to make sure you guys understand this is very important. If you have a lot of reviews, it's going to impact what I've seen overall. The clients that have more reviews, the high rating, it's going to impact the conversions on your website. You're going to get more people converting on your website. It's going to impact your conversion on your Facebook campaigns, right? So if you run a regular Facebook campaign, what typically happens if you're spending enough money, people are going to Google your name. They're going to Google your name. You're going to get traffic. You're going to see the traffic grow from your brand name, right? Because people are Googling you, right? And if you have high reviews, it's going to help you drive more leads. So that's why we do an omnipresent approach. A lot of times, a client is doing a Facebook campaign, and you'll see actually they're getting actually more website leads because they're Googling their name. And that's a 360 approach, right? Also, big thing, LSA. I did a webinar a couple months ago regarding the importance of LSA. Our clients overall, Google local service has become the number one paid channel for most clients, right? Especially for roofing companies, right? And obviously, having a high review rating is one of the most important parts of getting results online. So that's one of the biggest things that you see, is that it impacts everything else. Not only impacts your credibility online, the conversion rates on your website, but also impacts the paid channel and all the importance of that, right? All right, so let's talk about how to generate reviews. So I'm gonna answer some questions later. So just keep bear with me. I'm gonna ask you some of the questions I see coming in. Um, and we'll talk about some of the things that you can do to really get you more reviews. Recommend some tools that you can use. But at the end of the day, you really have to make it an emphasis for your business, right? And I'll talk about how to really incentivize your employees and your customers to leave more reviews, right? So first thing, right? Obviously, you want to ask the reviews for at the right time, right? After completing a job and ensuring satisfaction, you can ask for a review, ask for a simple script, right? Would you mind leaving a review to shopping experience? Obviously, you want to make sure that's a positive review, right? And here are a couple of examples of clients where they ask for reviews, right? In that case, basically what that looks like, right, is that this is a process called the review gating, where we ask to rate us 1 to 5. If it's less than a 5, then we send them a link to a feedback form and they can leave a review, right? Because sometimes if you ask for a review, you got to make sure that you want to ask for 5-star reviews. Sometimes you ask for a review and they give you 4 stars. It's not good enough, right? You want to get 5-star reviews. So you make sure that you have a filter process before that, or you just make sure you ask for a 5-star review. Hey, can you give me a 5-star review based on the feedback, right? Boom. That's how you kind of do it on that side, right? I'll make it easy, right? Uh, Again, super simple. People are lazy. They're not going to take action unless you make it easy for them to leave a review, right? So you don't want them to jump through hoops, right? So a couple things you can do. You can send a direct link to your Google Business profile, right? Via text or email, right? And there's a lot of different softwares that do this. I'm going to talk about that in a second. You can print QR codes where people can take a picture of their phone, right? And have a direct link to the review, right? You can have it on business cards, invoices, all these different things that really make it super simple to leave a review, right? Incentivize reviews. So big thing about this, right? And there's many different things you can do about this, but two things. First of all, you want to incentivize your employees to leave reviews. I would, as if you have salespeople, I would give bonuses as a roofing company, HVAC company, whatever it is, to have your techs, your customers, your salespeople, or project managers ask for reviews. Give them a bonus, right? Incentivize them, right? Give them a bonus on the reviews. Give them a $50, $100 gift card, whatever it is, to actually give them reviews, right? Also, at the same time, yeah, you can actually give rewards, right? Where the company, the person with the most reviews on your team gets a bigger bonus. Whatever that is very important. The other thing too you want to do is you want to incentivize your customers to leave reviews, right? And there's a couple things you can do this with that approach, right? And you got to be careful with how you approach this, right? Because if you incentivize your customers, if you give them bonuses, all that stuff, it's really against Google's terms of service. So you got to be careful about that. But obviously, if you give extra incentive to your customers to leave your reviews, it's going to help, right? It's going to help them take action, right? If you give them a $20 gift card, right? If you give them, some type of like incentive to actually have your customers leave a review. So again, two things: incentivize internally for reviews. My team, myself, I make sure that I reward my account managers to have their clients leave reviews, and I also give them bonus, right? And at the same time, you can also incentivize your customers to leave reviews, right? So with that aside, right? With training your team, right? So it's really about just implementing a process for emphasis and just make it very important. At the end of the day, this is not rocket science. It's not really hard to do this, right? It's just making sure you have a process in place to understand the importance of reviews. So again, train your team, train your sales managers, train your salespeople. It helps with selling. It increases the chances of them selling more roofs. So make sure you train your team to leave reviews. Now, let's talk about actually in a second about like the actual workflows we can set up for you that can do this for you, right? Lastly is friends and family, right? If you're starting out, right? And for me, this is okay, right? You can ask your friends and family to give you character reviews and references, right? It's okay to ask your friends and family to leave reviews. If you're a character, right? If you're just starting out, hey, this guy's a great person, will take care of you, all that stuff. It's okay to do that, right? There's no like hard rule against that, but you can also be creative, right? And ask these people to leave reviews. It will help you with everything else, right? Um, and in terms of the software, right? So we are agnostic to the software that we use, right? We use Contractor Link as our own company platform that we provide to our clients. And basically, and there's other softwares that does similar things. They all work really well. I have experience working and using all of them. But at the end of the day, it's just something that you have to implement. In terms of like providing incentives, what it does is basically it just makes it super simple to automate the process, automate the workflows, where you can have things in place that can help you just, not even think about it, right? At the end of the day, sometimes like people as a founder, as an owner, you're not really good with processes, but if you build these processes in place, it just makes it easier for you to just take action and implement it for yourself. So they all work well. So Podium is probably one that's the biggest out there. Integrates with text and email. You can also integrate with other platforms. They all have multiple platforms. They all can do Google. They all can do Facebook. They can do Yelp. All that different stuff, right? They all give you analytics. Project Link also integrates with all these different platforms. And for me, in terms of reviews, make sure you guys understand this, right? It's the 80-20 rule, 80-20 rule, right? Depending on the resources, right? I recommend, right, just sticking with Google for now. It's the 80-20 rule. So that means that 20% of your work is going to drive 80% of the results, right? So if you just focus on Google, because Google is going to impact your local SEO, your LSA, right, and your Google ads. So it really does a big impact on just focusing on Google reviews, right? So make sure you understand that with that second, right? Um, Key features to look for and reviews in terms of the pricing. It's anywhere between like $300 to $1,000 a month for these softwares. There's actually more expensive options, but just gonna give you a rundown. And they all have automations. They all have workflows set up. They all have multiple platform capability that you can actually collect reviews from Google, Yelp. They also track analytics. You can see how your reviews have gone up, gone down. You can see the negative sentiment. You can see the 6-month, 3-month process, how that works out. So it's all really impactful to get more reviews, right? Online reviews and local SEO. Let's talk about the importance of how online reviews can really impact local SEO. One of the big things that we do as a company is local SEO. That's really our better and better. It's one of the most important things that drives local leads, right? So the relationship between reviews and your Google business profile. Google business profile is a cornerstone of local SEO. So obviously, the more reviews you have and the better your average rating, the higher Google prioritizes your business and local search results. So big factor and getting more visibility on the maps, right? Obviously, it's also important that you have new reviews, right? Having new reviews has a big impact on recent ratings. So it's actually more important to have, if you have, I say, for example, a lot of reviews, like 300 reviews, right? But you haven't gotten a review in 6 months versus a company that has 50 reviews, but those reviews are becoming in the last 3 months. That company is probably going to do much better, right? So just bear with the mind. It's also recency, right? How important recency is, right? Impact on local SEO rankings, right? So Google considers three different things, right? They consider the number, the quality, and the recency of new reviews, right? When determining rankings, right? So if you have your customers leave detailed reviews where they can have pictures, they can have keywords installed, that really helps with people placing on the search results, right? So those are big things, right? If you have your customers leave detailed reviews, it's going to help with your local map rankings, right? One thing that you have to keep in mind that as you ask for a review, if you ask for a review, sometimes what happens is that your reviews are you know they basically, like, if you leave like a regular simple generic review, it helps, but doesn't help as much as leaving a very thoughtful, careful, long review with keywords, right? If you want to rank for roof repair, have in roof repair. If you want it for gutters, have gutters, right? I just got a conversation with a client today where the client wants to have more siding rankings in a certain area. So obviously we emphasize, hey, get more citing and reviews in that area. That would help with the rankings there, right? Local search results, again, big impact on local search results, right? And I've said this before, but Google local service ads on the paid ads has become the number one channel for advertising, right? For lead generation, right? So your results on LSA, right, are tied into a lot to your reviews. So there's multiple things that really affect your rankings. There's the impression share, there's the pictures you use, right? It's hard to control the pictures that, but I've seen overall the pictures, having a headshot works much better, right? So have headshots on that, having the reviews, and obviously making sure that you actually answering the phone every single time and respond to every lead as possible, right? So again, if you have high reviews, it's a big factor. And that's why sometimes like it takes a little bit of time to get leads on LSA, because clients that have more reviews are just going to get much better results. And in some markets, there's very competitive, Rand. There's companies that have 500, 600, 1,000 reviews in some markets. It's just really hard, right? So you have to keep that in mind, right? Just take some time, right? Reputation over is very important, right? Reputation has more reviews, right? These are all examples of companies that are doing well with the reputation. 5.0 rating, high rating, right? High review count. This really helps with you. First of all, it can help you charge more premium pricing, right? Because of the perceived reliability. It just helps you with the branding and everything else as well, right? Impact of negative reviews, right? So 90% of consumers say a bad review has a convincing to avoid a business. So there's a few things you can do, right? And I'm gonna talk about specifically besides having, just basically respond to review in a correct manner, but I'm also talk about how to combat reviews, right? How to dispute reviews, how to get your reviews to show up. Another thing that we're going to talk about, right? So, um, what I emphasize, right, is that you make sure that you have empathy and respond in a professional manner, right? You're sorry to hear about your experience. We love love the opportunity to make things right. In my case, what I would do, right, I would call the customer, right, and see what we can do to have them leave uh left a negative review, right? What we could have done better, right? And like ask them like customer centric approach, right? What couldn't you have done better? What can we do to actually make you take down the review on our end, right? Those are things that really help with everything else, right? Customer centric approach, right? These are all things that really help drive more visibility, more leads into every interaction, right? By consistently providing high quality service, you actually encourage more customers to share positive experiences, right? Um, all right, so let's talk about some things that has come up recently, and make sure you guys like kind of get this. But I've seen this, we've dealt with this multiple times, where some clients get reviews, and for whatever reason the reviews disappear, or whatever, or sometimes the reviews don't appear. So we have a system in place that can help you with this. So first thing you got to do is actually just contact support. So it's not the hardest thing to do, but you just contact support. Here's a link, right? And basically you ask for, here, select one, what can I help you with? Ask for this, right? Understanding missing and delayed reviews. So manage your missing Google reviews, right? So that's the things you got to do, right? Take a next step, right? Um, and basically fill out the form, right? Fill out the form. What is your name? What is the phone number, right? What's the address, right? And then just fill out this form and make sure that you send screenshots with the related case ID to make sure that the reviews are not there, right? So it's a process in place for us, for our clients. We do this for our clients. Sometimes they have reviews where they disappear, and we have this process in place where they're gonna have it fill out, right? Another thing you can do, right? You can actually dispute reviews. So there's actually companies that you can hire that can dispute the review process, but all they're really doing is just basically going to Google and requesting the review to be removed, right? But then at the end of the day with Google, right? They're only going to remove legitimate requests, right? So you can kind of like go in there in all time and basically like, hey, report the review, and it's a fake review. Sometimes it takes some time to leave a review, and I've seen multiple times where uh, like client, people just leave a fake review. Had that happen multiple times. And obviously I've had our clients have that happen to them as well. So you just have to just follow this process, right? And be consistent with it, and it can help you kind of leave process the requests. And what you'll see is that you will see like you get an update, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like hit or miss with this, but it really gives you an opportunity. Hey, yes, I can have people leave remove reviews if this is like a legit concern, right? So the other thing you can do is using the Google removal tool. So if the violation is unclear, this method is more effective. So if it's like unclear what the reason was, then obviously you can use this tool, right? And you request a review. And what happened is that somebody manually is going to look at their review and take action or not, right? Because most of the time it's kind of automated for them on their end, and they take yes or no, and sometimes that happens, right? So make sure that happens as well. Basically report the review here, right? Report it, and basically the review has been reported, right? So that's kind of the works about that, right? So again, you can do this as well. We've done this for our clients. We're not promising anything, but it does help with this, right? Just being consistent with this. And obviously, you guys can do this yourself. That can help you with combat some fake reviews and negative reviews, right? Um, Sometimes you can appeal Google's decision. So what happens is that Google will like the decision. If you don't like the decision, you can actually appeal the decision. So check the status of a review that I've already appealed options, right? Do Google manage Google Business Review, and then basically go to the section, request removal of inappropriate reviews, and submit your case study. So hope you guys are learning this, right? Um, Another thing too is reaching out to Google My Business and the community support. One last thing is that post on the Google My Business support community, including the case ID, and Modder will be able to escalate your case to Google. For us, we have our own Google rep, so we have a lot of challenges sometimes with dealing with the clients, and they have a lot of questions. But we have our own Google rep that can does a decent job with the questions we ask, right? And overall. So at the end of the day, like Google is not the best support company. Google and Facebook are not good support. I don't know why they don't invest more money into support, but overall, that's just the way it works, right? Success stories. So I'm going to give you some success stories, some action plans, so you guys can understand the impact of how this can be beneficial for your business. Obviously, before and after, I'm going to show you guys some before and after, and so you can understand the impact and how they can really help you stop relying on lead brokers all the time, right? So Stellar Roofing, right? One of the best examples, right? In September 2023, they have high rating, 4.8, and 353 reviews. And then in 1 year, right, over a year, they have 709 reviews. And this is just in Rochester, right? Let's see the metrics and how that impacted, right? In Rochester, right? They got in 1 year increase, they tripled the amount of LSA leads, right? So 21 to 57. So triple the amount of LSA leads, right? Another one, right? Rinaldi Roofing, right? So 180 reviews in January 2024. Now in January 25, 1 year, they had a huge increase in number of reviews, right? They have a 217% increase in interaction on Google My Business. So what I mean by that is going to see more calls, more bookings, more website clicks. It drives more visibility to your website, more results. So these are all big things that really help with everything else, right? Again, Rinaldi Roofing, right? Another example, right? LSA, like I said, it impacts everything. It impacts your Google My Business visibility, impacts your process with LSA. Now, this is another example. November, right? And in 1 month, they got 39 calls in 1 month after doing this themselves, right? Again, big impact with the results, right? Another example, right? This is Imperial Roofing, right? And these guys are in DFW, very competitive, right? 213 reviews in 1 year to 1 year, 411 reviews. So they got double the amount of results in terms of profile interactions. And that led to more calls, right? On the Google business profile, led to a lot more different things, right? So a case study, right? So again, 1 year, right? The impact of LSA, right? They 5x the number of leads on LSA, right? You see this 1 year, so November, right, to October, right? Actually, 1 year, 12 months, 5x the number of leads, right? Big thing, right? Another case study, right? Coastal Roofing in October 2023, they had 31 reviews, and in January 2025, 150 reviews. What does that increase to? What increases to LSA? A big impact, almost double the amount of leads. So 24 to 39 in the same time period in November, right? So 30, 24, 20, 39 leads. Again, it's a gradual increase of leads, a gradual increase in results. Obviously, it takes time to get there, right? But it's just something that really helps with everything else, right? At the same time, we're also doing SEO, we're doing paid ads, but the review process is a huge part of everything else, right? Another one, How Do You Roofing? These guys are just more of a brand on a new side, right? 16 reviews to 54 reviews, right? And what it did is a huge increase in interactions on Google, right? And the Google My Business profile, right? So these are examples, right? What we do is we just give you the tools, the workflows, but at the end of the day, it's really up to you as a business owner to really take consideration and make this a priority in your business, because it really helps with everything else, right? So your next steps, again, out of your content reviews, what's your rating, right? If you have a low rating and if you have a few reviews, it's not really hard to get, high rating with a few reviews, right? It's much harder to get, 4.3 rating if you have 300 reviews to a 4.7. It's going to take a lot more reviews versus somebody that has, 10 reviews and you have a 4.3 rating. Obviously, it just doesn't, it's much easier, right? Create a system for consistent generating and managing reviews, right? Invest in tools and training to improve your customer service, encourage positive feedback. Again, these are all very important to help you understand how to really take the next step and how to implement this for your business, right? So again, if you guys want to know more, the link is roofingmarketingpros.com. Go to our website /calendar, right? roofingmarketingpros.com/calendar, and then you can actually take the next steps, learn about what we can do, and help you guys grow to the next level. Now, I do have some questions I want to answer. Um, so the question is, why did Google delete reviews this week? So we went from 108 to 89 reviews. So one thing with this is I kind of talked about this overall, is that Google did not delete reviews. If you look at the review count, right, the review should appear there, but it's a bug in the system, and it looks like the reviews have come back. So if you take a look again at your reviews, it should be coming back, right? So that's another thing, right? Another question is the recording going to be sent out after? Yes, it is. So the recording is going to be sent afterwards. So you guys take it to look on that side. Let me see if I have other questions. So again, acquisition, right? I talked about the acquisition. It really impacts everything. It impacts your LSA, your Google, your profiles, everything else. So if you guys learn more, just go to our website, roofingmarketingpros.com/calendar, right? roofingmarketingpros.com. Just schedule a meeting with there, and we can talk more about how we can help you guys. We don't take everyone as a client. Obviously, we just have to think things in place, pre-select on who we take on, but love to talk more about how we can help you guys potentially and see how we can implement this for your business and really grow and take the next steps. If you guys really have the desire to get to the next level, we can definitely help you guys. So, hi guys, thank you guys. And if you guys have any other questions, I don't see any other questions to come in. I think that's about it. I don't have any other questions, but if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thank you guys.